You thought awakening would bring peace. But now, you're stuck in a fog. You don't care about your goals anymore. You wake up and feel nothing. No spark, no drive, just silence. Not depression, not laziness, something deeper. Carl Jung warned us about this phase. He said, when the unconscious becomes conscious, the ego loses its map, and without a new map, you drift. But what if this isn't the end of your growth? What if it's the doorway to becoming who you really are? Section 1. The sacred fog no one talks about. At first, awakening feels like a revelation, a tearing open of the veil. You see through the lies you were sold, the status, the chase, the noise. For a moment, you feel alive, more present, more powerful, like you finally stepped outside the simulation. But then slowly, quietly, the light dims. Your routines lose their meaning. Your ambitions feel hollow, and the fire that once pushed you forward, it doesn't just flicker, it dies. Not with panic, not with pain, just an eerie stillness. Like your soul turned the volume down on life and forgot to turn it back up. You don't feel broken, you just don't feel much at all. And in a world that praises hustle, productivity, and performance, this stillness looks like laziness. It feels like failure. But Carl Jung saw it differently. He called it a psychological death. The dismantling of the identity you spent your entire life constructing. The mask you wore, the goals you chased, the version of yourself you tried to become. They all start to fall away. And what's left is not yet your new self. It's the space between. The sacred fog, a void not meant to be escaped, but entered. Because here, in the silence, is where your real becoming begins. Section 2. The ego's map has been erased. You didn't lose motivation. You lost your map. Carl Jung said, enlightenment doesn't come by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. But no one tells you what that really means. It means that when the light of awareness floods in, it doesn't just illuminate your potential. It reveals the shadows you've spent a lifetime avoiding. And in that light, your ego, that inner manager of goals, timelines, and ambitions, starts to fall apart. Not violently, not loudly, but subtly, like a compass needle that no longer knows where north is. You wake up one day, and the things that used to ignite you feel meaningless. Not because they were fake, but because they were built on a version of you that no longer exists. The achiever, the pleaser, the performer, gone. And now you're left with something strange. A vast open space inside you, and no clear path forward. This is the moment Jung called enantiodromia, the pendulum swinging from one extreme to the other, from the high of ego-driven becoming to the stillness of ego disintegration, from I must do everything to why do anything at all. It feels like you've stalled, like your engine cut out mid-flight. But you haven't crashed. You've entered the cocoon, not a butterfly, not a caterpillar, just in between. A space that doesn't get applause, a stage with no script. But Jung believed this sacred stillness isn't a mistake. It's integration, the death of the persona, so that the self can finally emerge. Section 3. You're not lost. You're recalibrating. This fog you're in is not a failure. It's the sacred pause between who you were and who you're about to become. Carl Jung saw this long before it became a TikTok buzzword. He called it the process of individuation, not just self-awareness, but a complete realignment of your inner world. And here's the hard truth. Before you awaken into your true self, you have to watch your false self crumble. This is not dysfunction, it's design. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're being recalibrated. Your soul is rewiring your system from the inside out. Think about it. If a machine is updating its entire software, would you expect it to be running at full speed? Of course not. It pauses. It goes dark. It lets the old programs die quietly in the background. That's what's happening to you. The ego-driven operating system, built on proving, achieving, surviving, is being replaced. And the self? It doesn't run on adrenaline. It runs on alignment. But alignment requires silence, stillness, waiting. That's why your old motivation isn't coming back. Because it was tied to a life that no longer fits you. So if you're staring at the ceiling, wondering where your spark went, know this. You're not behind. You're exactly where transformation begins. Section 4. The return of soul-led motivation. Something begins to stir, not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet pull, not to return to your old life, but to build a new one. And this pull feels different. It doesn't come with pressure. It doesn't shout. It whispers. You notice a desire to create, not to be noticed, but because something inside you needs to breathe. You start making choices, not based on logic or lists, but based on resonance. You feel drawn toward things that speak to your inner world, even if they make no sense on paper. This is what Jung meant by the symbolic life. A life where you stop chasing external milestones and start interpreting your experiences like myths. A dream isn't just a dream anymore. A strange coincidence becomes a message. A subtle feeling becomes a compass. You stop moving like a machine and start flowing like a river. This is motivation, but not as you knew it. Not fueled by deadlines. Not triggered by fear. Not chained to your past identity. This is soul-fueled momentum. It's slow, but it's pure. It may not impress the world, but it will fulfill you. And the deeper you follow it, the more aligned your reality becomes. You stop needing permission. You stop needing applause. You start needing only one thing: truth. Truth in your actions, truth in your words, truth in your way of being. That's the new fire. And it doesn't burn out when life gets hard. It burns brighter because it's rooted in who you actually are. So if you've been feeling unmotivated, like your fire is gone, know this: it wasn't failure. It was a clearing. The old fire had to burn out so a deeper flame could be found, one that doesn't flicker in the wind of outside approval. Carl Jung didn't promise that awakening would be easy. He only promised it would be real. And if you're here, sitting in the silence, floating in the fog, wondering why nothing moves you anymore, maybe it's because the self is preparing to rise. Not the version of you the world expects, but the one that's been waiting underneath all along. So the question isn't, how do I get back to who I was? The question is, who am I becoming now that I've let go? Sit with that. Let it echo. Because awakening isn't the end of your story. It's where the real story begins. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.